everyone. This is the first episode of our podcast, SOMCast. Today, we will be having with us Mr. Amartya Thigale, who is a filmmaker, rather a prolific filmmaker, and also happens to be a senior at SOM. This episode will be co hosted with Akash Adilin. Hello, Akash.
Hello, I don't want to take any more time. Amartya, you called you a prolific filmmaker. What's your views on that? We can probably dive right into it. Before that, can we have a brief introduction of yours from yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Amartya. I am their senior, although I'm a fresher, so there's a lot of age gap over there. A lot of times during this episode, you will hear something like prolific filmmaker and stuff like that. But the most important thing to know is that I have never done this before. Both the movies that I made and the third one, which was being made right now, have been one of my first experiences. We will shortly get over to that, but a little bit about my background. I'm a mechanical engineer. I passed out in the batch of 22 and have directly joined SOM. And now that I am in SOM, I have had the opportunity to take part in so many different activities. What do you guys think? Do you like SOM?
At the moment, yes. And I'm pretty sure I will continue to say that in all the episodes. Not because I'm paid to. I'm definitely not paid to do this. You know that.
That's the job of the cultural secretary.
Atre, what is your answer? How was your experience?
SOM loves SOM. So honestly, again, I'm also a fresher, and this is, I think, last 6 months in SOM have been really transformative for me. And as much cliched as it might sound, but the number of experiences I've had in the last 6 months is way more than the number of experiences I had in the last 21 years of my life. So definitely, these SOM life has been the best. So I have. It is much better than anything I anticipated. And I got to meet people like Amartya, who is one of the I have had interaction with few seniors quite a lot, and Amartya is one of them. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this episode.
I think just to add one thing over here, when Atre and I were sitting around thinking of how the podcast should be, who should we invite, one thing that we thought was we have to call Amartya for the first episode, not because of filmmaking, not because of any other reason, because Amartya's voice is just so soothing.
Yeah, so we have Contis and Dikshas here in SOM, which are essentially your industry interaction sessions. And Amartya has been co-hosting a bulk of them. So from there we got first time introduced to Amartya.
No, you guys are too kind. You guys are too kind. It was actually really fun for me to be part of this as well because I've never done a podcast before, and that's the beautiful thing about SOM, isn't it? It exposes you to so many different things. Like there, for God's sake, there is water polo that happens here. How do you get into something like that? So aside from just filmmaking and this and that, there's so many different things that you do, and the platform that you get is just immense. Everywhere you go, there is so much support, so much appreciation, just coming all your way from all directions, and I think that's something that's really special about this place.
So Amartya, coming to filmmaking, what got you interested into filmmaking? We know that you are someone who's interested in culture in general, and you are quite a well-read person. But how filmmaking exactly came into your mind?
Well, Adre, I'll be really honest with you. The decision to join filmmaking was really on the fly. I know we talk about getting an Inter-IIT gold, and it is something which seems like a very big thing. But in all honesty, when you're in the process, it doesn't feel like that big of a problem. I remember very clearly that the filmmaking auditions that I auditioned for were on the 27th of November. And I heard about the auditions for the first time on, I think, the 23rd. And I remember thinking, oh man, we have the December month off and I have to go home. My parents are traveling. My friends are out of town. So there is little to no reason for me to go home. And I remember just going up to my friends, my seniors from college, and just telling them, hey, this is a really cool thing that I want to take part in. But I've never had any experience in acting, like not even dramatics. And what do I do? So I sat down with a bunch of random people, sometimes online, sometimes offline, found a bunch of people here in IITB who had some filmmaking experience from behind, and just sat with them for 4 straight days and just decided to work on my acting skills and give it a shot because I wanted to stay in campus without really being bored. And lo and behold, I think two things really came into the play. Firstly, my friends really helped me improve, and they needed someone like me for the role. And secondly, I think the people that auditioned for the play were required to be more of a Marathi background. So these are the reasons which I was taken in, and rest just happened with the flow.
I think Marathi in general has a very rich heritage of filmmaking and of dramatics in general. So I think somewhere your Marathi connection also played into this.
Maybe. I mean, the reason that they wanted some Marathi people was that this year around they were focusing a lot more on the cultural side of things.
Yeah.
So for the authenticity to come in, one of the movies that we made was almost entirely in Marathi. And Paithani, that's right. And it actually won the third place in the Inter-IIT competition. So we were pretty proud of that fact. There were a lot of problems that came in along the way, but more on that later, right?
So, what is exactly things which fascinate you about, which like fascinate you when it comes to filmmaking? What are those things? I don't know, what could be the potential challenges that you had to overcome?
Just to add to that question, where when you're talking about filmmaking experience as whole, you mentioned that a lot of people who were there with you, who had already previous experience, they were from behind the camera. I think, can you just explain to the audience what you mean by that? What is the behind the camera? What is in front of the camera?
Yeah, sure. So about behind the camera and in front of the camera first. So what happened was I auditioned for an on-screen role, and the people taking my auditions were already part of the team, right? But they were also the students. The thing is, these are students from the design center of IIT Bombay. We call it the IDC. And these are people who want to do filmmaking full time. They're really serious about their work. They have all those four screens going on, editing, color correction, all those things. The background team that did work on this film was very, very experienced and very, very talented. So I think it was kind of a luck factor for me that the entire team came together in such a beautiful sense, wherein everyone brought something to the team, and the entire journey felt very happy and very collaborative. There was no bad blood. There were little to no disagreements. Everything was just flowing, and I think that's how it goes in a college where you bring so many people from different backgrounds together who actually want to work for a joint purpose.
So, Amartya, at this stage, can you just briefly walk us through the process of filmmaking? Because for a lot of our audience, filmmaking is art which is mostly unknown. They love to enjoy movies and they appreciate it, but they don't know how exactly movies are made.
Well, sure. So, firstly, the reason I really went into filmmaking was that I wanted to work on an art that is a culmination of all other arts.
Right.
So, being visual, being spoken, everything together. And filmmaking was something that really intrigued me in that. The process for filmmaking is really, really lengthy. I mean, I don't know if you'll believe me, but if we shoot for 2 weeks, the background process have been going for almost 2 months.
Wow.
There is the queue that is released by the host IIT in this case, or any competition hosts for that matter. We take the queue, we sit down, we brainstorm over the entire idea. There are different ways of brainstorming. We narrow the idea down over and over and over and over again until, of course, we have to make a decision. After that, there's a lot more things just going on into that. For example, we need to do scripting of each and every single dialogue. And even though you know that scripting isn't final, so much hard work is poured into it. Aside from that, we're all students. We don't have the equipment required to make a good film. So all that equipment needs to be rented. The places, people need to be found, contacts need to be collated, all of these things, a lot of money involved. So a lot of support from IIT was required. And they did. Huge props to them. So aside from just the students taking so much effort, the college's efforts were also huge. Just so much support. It felt like the college really wanted us to do a good job, whether we win or not.
Just to add one more question over here. When you're talking about filmmaking, the whole process itself is something that's humongous. You start right way from scripting, etc. We've talked about scripting as well and screenwriting, etc. And then actually getting onto the set, actually shooting the scene. One question that I am very curious about, because I have a dramatics background, and one thing that I really love is improv. Improv is my love. So how much was how much of the movie making was following the script to the T, and how much was changing it in the last minute based on like, okay, this doesn't work right, this doesn't work right. And I can see you smiling over here, so I presume there is some story then. So please tell us that story.
Well, funny you'd say that because I have also done some improv back in my college days. And that's the reason I thought I would actually be, interested and capable of doing this. But sorry to crush your dreams, but there is little to no improv involved.
My heart is broken.
Yeah. In fact, I know this one scene that we shot in Paithani, which was a scene of a mother and daughter, a really close connection, very impactful scene. We started shooting that scene at 11 p.m. in the night, and we finally wrapped up that one scene, which was on screen for I think 80 seconds at 9 a.m. So 10 hours of work No one has slept. There was barely any food involved. We were just drinking some energy drinks and just going at it, because one or two words were always getting off here and there, and little to no improv. It always has to be pitch perfect. And I think that is something about filmmaking that is different from other arts. You get a lot of time to hone your craft, but it is unforgiving at the same time.
Yeah, at this point, Amartya, if you can briefly talk about what IIT as a ecosystem has provided. Is there any club or committee or any support system that exists? Because from the outside, it appears like people have this wrong perception that IIT is all about study, hardcore engineering, sciences, STEM, but there is a lot more. So if you could talk about that.
Yeah. I won't lie to you. When I came to IIT, I thought it was the same.
Yeah.
I didn't know how I would fit in. I thought it would be so difficult to find people who are interested in these things. But let me tell you, I couldn't have been more wrong. The culture here is so amazing. It sometimes feels like no one is studying, right? It is always people going for cultural or sports activities. As far as clubs are concerned, most of the clubs here are very dedicated and funded by the institute. A small example would be the Silver Screen Club, which is the filmmaking club of IIT.
Right.
Now, when we talk about clubs like these, they are very, very inclusive of both PG and UG students. As most of you would know, IIT has BTech students, MTech, PhD, humanities, SOM, so many different kind of people, and everyone can just come together. They can hone in their craft, they can give in their ideas, and make some really, really good work. Best thing is, the college actually gives you special time off if you want to take part in such activities. Yeah, and they also gives you a lot of budget which can be taken part in. Also, most of these clubs are headed by people who actually want to do something regarding this in the future. For example, when we talk about the Silver Screen team, which I was a part of, there were some people taking names. There were the people called Divyansh, some one Dataram. If you're hearing this, guys, hi, big shout out to you. But these guys actually wanted to take part in filmmaking as a career option. So you could see how serious they were. So even people like me who took part in it just to have fun, make some memories, have a good story to, I don't know, say on a podcast maybe. Even they found it to be very easy and very, very fun at the same time. So yeah.
Okay, I would like to have a really interesting question over here about yourselves. We have spoken a lot about IIT, we have spoken a lot about filmmaking. But when you were a kid, did you ever imagine, like when you are 23 or something? I presume you're 23 now.
Yeah.
Did you ever imagine 23-year-old Amartya is going to be a filmmaker, is going to be in a movie?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah. Very interesting question. No.
Like when you went to a theater when you were 6-year-old to see Shah Rukh Khan, did you ever imagine someday I will be also in a film?
No, definitely not. I remember thinking a lot of different things. I thought I would be an astronaut or a police.
That is all of us.
Police. Yeah. I even thought I would be a super villain at one point. I'm pretty sure.
Villain?
Yeah. But never a film actor. Like it was always so weird. And that's the beautiful thing. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's the beautiful thing about SOM and this place in general. It opens you up to so many different things, and you just think of doing something, you can just go ahead and do it. There's nothing stopping you.
Adarsh, let me ask you, did you ever think that you'll be starting a podcast of your own?
When I was growing up, there was nothing called podcast, let alone internet. That was a weird thing.
Yeah.
You got saved there. Also, Amartya, like talking about filmmaking, meanwhile you were also like studying and there were classes happening, all of that was happening. So how did you actually balance both your academics, your MBA studies, as well as filmmaking?
That's a very good question, actually. A lot of people have asked me that over time. And the thing is, talking specifically about SOM, I believe that the academic pressure that we feel as compared to the other MBA colleges is slightly on the lower side. I've talked to a lot of people from other B schools, and that's what I've talked to as well. I mean, getting the entire month of December off as an MBA student is something that's unheard of. Right? So, getting time to do filmmaking during December wasn't a problem. during November, it did become a problem when it came to final days of the second last semester. Yeah, with exams coming and all the assignments that are to be submitted. But the faculties are also very, very supportive.
Yeah.
You tell them you're going for Inter-IIT and they just drop everything and help you out. Yes, deadlines can be extended, no problem. And yeah,
I think holistic learning that we often talk about in MBA is something that I've personally witnessed at SOM.
yeah.
So I
Like holistic is a word we use in the MBA.
holistic, 360-degree.
Yeah, sacrosanct. Yeah,
Sacrosanct, yes, sacrosanct.
In some subsequent podcasts, episodes as well, you'll get to learn a lot of MBA jargon.
Lingo.
Yeah,
jargon,
lingo.
yeah, a lot of it.
It's gonna be fun.
So, when talking about your personal preferences when it comes to movies, how is it like? What kind of a movie watcher are you? What genres interest you? What are some movies that have piqued your interest?
Right. So, I used to be like a bookworm back in the day. I remember liking a lot of books and movies that had very nice sense of metaphors and a deep meaning and things like that. But I'm sad to say that in the last 2 years that has changed. I have really banged towards comedy movies to just get me through the stress of life, and especially MBA.
Right.
Whenever you get time, especially here, not just out of academics, but out of all the things you end up doing throughout the day,
Yeah.
you just want to relax, watch some Golmaal, I guess, and have some
Golmaal is an
fun.
all-time favorite. Right?
Goat, right? Yeah, there is.
Okay,
there is
Amartya, I'm going to
goat
ask you a question here.
Yeah.
Your favorite Golmaal?
My favorite Golmaal. Oh, that is a very difficult question.
I have a preference. I want to answer it.
You do? Okay.
I will answer it.
Okay. I think it would be. Is it Golmaal 3 where they're in Goa? Or is it Golmaal 1? The one in Goa. The one where
We
Jolly
definitely need to rewatch all the.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the one where the John Lever just goes through all the jet skis on his own jet ski. Yeah.
Oh, that was.
The one with Vasuli Bhai burning down the firecrackers. It's third one.
Third one.
Yeah, it's third one. Yeah, if it's not the third one, I think there are going to be some people who are really mad with us doing it.
Even if you're mad, just respond to it. Interaction is always good for me.
Yeah.
Any engagement is good engagement.
Yeah,
that's the mantra we believe in. Also, do you have any advice as such, Martha, for the young budding filmmakers who look up to you? Because since my MBA is not a very very chill course, and it's definitely not that much into fine arts. Do you have any advice?
Right, yeah. You'd be surprised how many people have asked me this question in the last 1 month. Honestly,
we need to refresh. We need to refresh the question.
Yeah, no. The thing is, so I'll tell you from my perspective, right? Yeah. So I'm not an experienced filmmaker by any times, but I've been part of 3 movies for now, 2 of which have won something at an Inter-IIT level. So I'll tell you from my experience, and my experience is honestly just that you need to have a lot of ideas in your head, and that is it, point blank. If you are someone who does not respond well to others' ideas, if you generally feel it uncomfortable to listen to and try out things that others are saying, even if they might not click with you instantly, then filmmaking might not be for you. But if you're someone who likes to listen to people, listen to their own ideas and just give it a shot, even though you might not be completely comfortable or ready for it in the first place, then filmmaking really comes together. For example, just a small instance here. I remember this one idea that came up during my brainstorming session was that we need to have a sequence where there's a conversation between a mother and her daughter, and during the conversation, the time of the movie changes from night to dawn, right? So the entire lighting had to be changed. We had to find a home. We had to put up huge lights on all 3 windows, and then change the lighting eventually slowly during that 90-second conversation, or maybe 1 minute, 2-minute conversation, from going from dark to completely bright with birds chirping in the background. And when you hear about something like this, it is so impossible to think about. Like, how are you ever going to make that happen, right? Yeah. But we just said yes. And it turned out to be the most beautiful scene, in my opinion, that I've seen in all of the films that I saw, at least for Inter-IIT. And it's just things like these that filmmaking teaches you. It's like sometimes people have this idea in their head and you might think it's impossible or unfeasible to do so, but it's magic. It just happens, and when it does, it leaves you awestruck.
Yeah. So, Amartya, what next? What is in store for the Amartya, the budding filmmaker and the actor?
No, not budding filmmaker. I think my MBA is coming to an end. So
the corporate journey is
it is about
to start.
Right. So what next? I'm actually taking part in a couple more films now.
Oh.
For those of you guys who have seen the movie Chichore, you might know something along the lines of general championships that happen in IITs, right? So in that movie, there was mostly sports involved, basketball, this, that, whatever. But general championships here, at least those for hostels, are not just sports; they're also culturals.
Yes.
So I am representing my hostel, Hostel 13, the House of Titans, for the Filmmaking GC. And yeah, we're working on that right now. The storyboard is written, the ideation is done. About to start making the movie. It's really fun, and I'll show you guys definitely when I get the chance. Yeah.
And Amartya, where can we watch your last movies and creations?
Well, they are all on YouTube now. I think they just released 3 days ago.
Yes.
And I have shared the links to these guys and all my friends.
It will be in the description.
Definitely give it a shot. If you have any improvements, please let me know. We need to know how to improve. Yeah, but whenever you do, it's just students having fun and putting their heart and soul into what they like. So I think that's the most beautiful thing. And if I have fun in the future doing more of these things, I would definitely want to.
Okay, Amartya, quick rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
You do not get to think
Akash had to do the rapid fire. Like Akash was like he wants to do the rapid fire. He wants somehow rapid fire to happen.
Yeah, he doesn't even have questions written down.
Questions. I saw rapid fire today. I'm going to do it now. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
The questions are my rapid fire. I have to think about the questions.
Double-edged rapid fire. Yes. Okay, got it.
Okay. You said you're a bookworm.
Yeah.
Which is one book that you want to adapt and want to play a part in?
House of Hades in the Percy Jackson series, the Heroes of Olympus series.
Amazing answer. I love that answer.
Yeah.
One movie that you wish you were a part of that you had watched as a kid?
Oh, as a kid. Well, if you're talking about as a kid, I would like to say Sholay.
Oh.
Yeah.
As
that's probably, I'm sorry, but probably Gabbar Singh. That dude was so cool. Yeah.
Established that Amartya has a thing for villains.
Yeah.
He wants to be villain.
I mean, the conversation started with super villain and he went for the biggest villain.
Yeah.
Okay. A request from my side.
Yeah.
One Gabbar dialogue.
Yeah. Come on.
We need it now. This is your super villain moment.
Yeah.
You have set it up.
Okay. Alright, here you go. अरे ओ सांबा कितने आदमी थे तुम्हें क्या लगा सरदार बहुत खुश होगा शाबाशी देगा हैं अथू
It was so hard to control my laughter.
Yeah.
I think neither did Amartya.
Yeah. The most iconic dialogue from the
most iconic. I remember sitting with my father at 1 a.m. watching this dialogue every week.
Yeah. I love that movie so much.
With this, we unfortunately come to the end of our podcast. Thanks a lot, Amartya.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for doing this. Good job with all this work.
Yeah. So, guys, you can subscribe to us on Spotify, on YouTube, on other social media platforms, and definitely go and start following Amartya and other people from our cultural council, and you will get to see a lot more podcasts on similar cultural topics in future.
100%. Thanks for being here, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and please do share it. I think Athre missed that. Please do share the content with everyone you like, everyone you know, everyone you don't like either. I mean, it's your choice at the end of it.
Yeah.
We are in a democracy, and choice is something that we. Discussion for some other day. We'll make a podcast.
Okay, that is going to go for a long discussion. We'll end it now.
Yeah.
For now, chalo, tata, bye bye, namaste, and sat shri akal.
Yes. Bye bye.